Welcome to the VoiceMe Podcast, information and advice on the world of voiceover presented by voiceme.co.za, the South African search directory for voice artists and related services. I'm Andrew Sutherland, founder of VoiceMe, and in this episode, we're going to dig into one of the most valuable skills you can learn as a voice artist: building repeat clients. Think about it for a second. Most of us put an incredible amount of time and energy into finding work. Auditions, demos, marketing, cold outreach, networking, and that's important. We have to get the job first, but the real magic happens after you've booked a project. So what happens next? Do you become a one-hit wonder for that client, or do you become their go-to voice for years? Repeat clients are where your business really starts to stabilize and grow. They're the ones who reduce that constant hustle. They're the ones who call you back without a casting process. They're the ones who email you directly because they already know you can deliver. And that relationship is where a voiceover business becomes sustainable. In this episode, I'm going to show you exactly why repeat clients are such a game changer, and more importantly, the practical things you can do to turn a single job into an ongoing relationship that lasts. And I'm going to break it down into some clear parts. First, we'll talk about why they matter. Then we'll explore the behaviours that make clients want to come back. I'll share some practical small habits that will make a huge difference over time, and we'll wrap it up with some common mistakes that make clients disappear. Let's start with a simple truth. If you're always chasing new work, you are always on a treadmill. It's exhausting. Most voice artists start their careers thinking that the job is 90% auditions and 10% recording. And at first, it does feel like that. You spend your time scrolling through casting calls, submitting auditions, doing cold outreach, posting on LinkedIn, all to land that first booking. And that's totally normal, but it's just the entry point into the industry. If you want a stable, sustainable career, at some point, you have to get off that treadmill. And the best way you can do that is by turning one-time clients into repeat clients. So imagine a pie chart of your income. For some voice artists, the majority of that pie comes from new clients, projects they had to audition for, to pitch for, or find through outreach. A much smaller slice comes from people they've worked with before. And that means every single month starts from zero. You've got to go back out and find the work again. Now let's flip that chart. Imagine 60% of your income comes from repeat clients. These are people who already know you. They like your work. They trust you. They simply email you, "Hey, we've got a new script. Can you do it by Thursday?" No audition, no competition, just work. That 60% becomes a foundation. And the remaining 40%, that's where your auditions and marketing efforts go. You can see the difference, right? One version of this business is survival mode. The other version is growth mode. Growth mode happens because you deliberately invest in the relationship, not just the job. I'll give you a personal example. Years ago, I voiced a single explainer video for a corporate client. That was it. One video, 3 minutes long. It was a very straightforward project, but I paid attention to everything around it. I delivered a clean, broadcast quality file, I named the files exactly as requested, and I asked 2 clarifying questions that showed that I cared about the script. We made a couple adjustments based on my feedback, and when the job was done, I didn't just send the invoice and disappear, I wrote a genuine thank you note back. Fast forward 6 years, that one job has turned into dozens of projects with that client. Corporate narrations, training and internal videos, even a couple of commercial spots. They don't even ask me to audition anymore. They just send me scripts and say, "You know what to do." And they're not the only ones. I have a bunch of clients like these. That's the power of repeat clients. There's also a hidden multiplying effect that happens when clients come back. They introduce you to other people. So when you think about it, when you make someone's life easier, they'll talk about you. They'll say, We've got a guy who's brilliant, always on time, makes it easy. Let me give you his name and details. I've had repeat clients introduce me to many others. None of those companies found me randomly on a directory or a casting site. They came referred through trust from existing clients. And trust is powerful currency in this industry. And there's also a mental health benefit here as well. Knowing that a certain percentage of your work is already lined up gives you space to breathe. You can spend less time in survival mode and more time focusing on improving your craft, networking selectively, which saves a lot of time, and growing your business strategically. I also want to be clear, this is a long game. Repeat clients don't come from one clever email. They come from a consistent pattern of doing excellent work, being easy to work with, and staying visible and available without being pushy. And when you play the long game, the payoff is extraordinary. So now that we know why repeat clients matter so much, I want to talk about what keeps them coming back. What makes someone hit send on a script for you instead of looking for someone new? What actually makes a client think, I'd rather work with this voice artist again than go looking for someone else? They do this because, and this is important, it's very rarely just about your voice. If you're listening to this episode, chances are you already have the talent to book work. You've coached, you've trained, you may even have set up a home studio. You can deliver clean professional reads. You've got a decent setup. Most pro voices have these basics covered. What I'm talking about here are the things that make a client go, that was so easy, so reliable, and so smooth. Why would I risk using someone else? So let's break it down. Number 1, reliability. This is at the top of the list for a reason. Reliability means doing what you say you will do when you say you'll do it. It sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how many voice artists miss deadlines, send work late at night without warning, or worse, go silent when there's an issue. I know an artist who once had a client give her a 3-day deadline for a long corporate narration. She delivered it in the same day within a few hours, files neat and perfect, and emailed the client to say, I thought you might want this early in case your schedule shifted. That one act of reliability completely changed her relationship with that client. From that moment on, they virtually stopped auditioning other people for those types of jobs. They just book her every single time. The reality is that clients often have a boss breathing down their necks. If you become the one thing they never have to worry about, you're golden. Number 2, ease of working with you. Think back to the last session you did. Were you easy to direct? Did you listen carefully and respond quickly? In a live session, being easy to work with is everything. A good voice artist knows when to speak and when to just take direction and deliver. I can't tell you how many clients have said to me, we keep coming back to you because the session just runs smoothly. We're not wasting time debating. You just do it. That same principle applies to self-recorded work. Do you make file delivery straightforward? Are your emails clear and concise? Do you include all the files requested, correctly named the first time? If you make their life easy, they will make your life easier by hiring you again. Number 3, consistency. Consistency builds trust. When a client books you, they need to know that the files you send this time will sound just as good as last time. Same audio chain, same levels, same polish. I also often get told, you're like a machine. We know exactly what we're getting every time we work with you. That's exactly the kind of reputation you want. This also applies to your communication. Respond promptly. Keep the same tone, warm and professional every time. Number 4, understanding the brand. One of the most overlooked skills a voice artist can develop is learning the client's brand. And this means more than just reading the words. It's about understanding their tone, their audience, their pace. So here's a tip. After a few jobs, take notice of the way they like a specific style or pacing, like calm, confident, but with just a hint of friendliness. Take notes after each session and keep a little brand voice guide just for them. The next time they send you a script, record it exactly the way you know they liked it before. No extra explanation needed. Here's a response I got from a client not that long ago. "You sound like you work here. It's like you've been in our meetings." That's what happens when you learn a client's preferences. You become an extension of their team. And lastly, number 5, be proactive. This one is subtle, but it can make you stand out. If you see something odd in a script, maybe a typo, a missing line, or a sentence that doesn't make sense, just ask. Don't just record it as is. Maybe it is meant to be that way, and it's just industry jargon to them, but maybe it's an actual mistake or oversight. Catching things before they make it to the final edit solidifies you as a supplier they can trust, and every time they'll thank you for taking the time to care about the end result. Being proactive shows you're not just a hired voice, you're part of the creative process. So why do these 5 factors matter more than just talent? It's simple. There are thousands of talented voice artists out there. Many of them could deliver a perfectly good read. So why would a client stick with one person? Because they value predictability. They value trust. They value not having to think about it. And when you give them that, you become their shortcut. They don't have to search. They don't have to audition. They just know, send it to Andrew and it'll be done. And that is incredibly valuable. So let's recap these 5 before we move on. Reliability. Be on time every time. Ease of working with you. Make the process smooth. Consistency. Deliver the same quality each time. Understanding the brand. Learn their style so you can anticipate. And be proactive. Catch issues, clarify, and care. Now, knowing these factors is great, but how do you build them into your day-to-day? That's where habits come in. Let's look at a few small, deliberate actions you can take after a job that plant the seeds of long-term relationships. These habits don't take a lot of time and they don't cost any money. But over weeks, months, and years, they add up to a network of clients who keep coming back. Most artists don't lose clients because of a bad performance. They lose them through neglect. Not following up, not staying visible, not taking a moment to strengthen the connection after the project is delivered. Building repeat clients doesn't happen by chance. It happens through small, thoughtful actions that you build into your routine. So let's break these habits down. Send a thank you note after delivery. This one is simple, and yet so few people do it. After you deliver the final files, send a genuine thank you, not a generic copy-paste one, just something short and personal. It takes 30 seconds, but it leaves a lasting impression. It signals that you care about more than just the invoice. Use reminders. The project is over, but that doesn't mean the relationship is. After every job, I put a note in my CRM for 2 months later, just a simple reminder to check in. The follow-up email is just as short and light as the thank you message. Hi, client name. I really enjoyed working with you on that project a few months ago. Just checking in to see how things are going. If there's any new projects on the horizon, I'd love to help again. This isn't about begging for work. It's just about staying top of mind. Keep a client style guide. This is one of the best kept secrets to client retention. Making notes. Create a document. I use my CRM for this, but it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a simple spreadsheet or just a notes file, and after each job, write down these: preferred tone, pacing and delivery notes, pronunciations, especially brand names or industry jargon, and file format and naming preferences. Next time that client books you, just review your notes before recording. They'll be amazed at how seamlessly you match their brand without them needing to explain everything again. It's the professional equivalent of remembering how someone takes their coffee. It shows that you pay attention. Quick turnarounds. If you can deliver early, do it. Clients love speed when quality stays high. Think about their experience. If they can check VoiceOver off their list a day early, they feel on top of their schedule. You've just made them look good to their team or their boss. And people remember the people who make them look good. Add value without selling. This one requires a bit of a delicate touch. Every now and then, maybe a few times a year, send something useful to your clients that isn't a sales pitch. It might be an article about a new trend in e-learning, if that's their field. It might be a congratulations on a recent award or a campaign you saw. It might be a genuine, I saw your new ad, fantastic work. The key here is just to have no strings attached. You're not sending your rates or a demo link, you're just building goodwill. Stay visible without being spammy. Engage with them on LinkedIn, comment on their posts, celebrate their work publicly. Think of it as gentle visibility. You want your name to pop up occasionally in a positive way, so when they do need a voice, they think of you first. Solve small problems before they grow. Sometimes it's not about the big gestures, it's about noticing the little things. Did they send a script with inconsistencies? Ask and offer a suggestion. Problem solvers are remembered. Individually, these habits may seem small. None of them take more than a few minutes. But over time, these small drops fill a bucket. Every positive interaction adds a drop of trust into the bucket. Eventually, that bucket overflows, and when it does, that client books you without hesitation. And the impact of building these habits is huge. You have more stability. You spend less time auditioning and more time recording. You have less stress. Knowing that you have ongoing relationships reduces the constant hustle. And you have higher income over time. Repeat clients often lead to referrals and better paying direct work. These habits are the what to do, but I also want to touch on the how to be. Because the human element, the way you show up in sessions, the way you handle problems, the way you make people feel, can be just as important as the work itself. It's the extra layer, one that doesn't come from checklists or spreadsheets. It's the human side of the business. Because VO work, at its heart, is human to human. I want to tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was in a live session for a big internal corporate video. Everything was going fine until the client's boss came in halfway through, took a look at the script and said, "We're changing all of this." Suddenly, what had been a 1-hour session became a 3-hour session. The script was being rewritten on the fly. Nobody was sure what the final direction was. Now, I could have got frustrated, I could have shown it in my tone, but I didn't. I smiled, I took a breath, and I said, "No problem, let's adjust as we go." After the session, the director messaged me directly and said, "Andrew, you have no idea how much we appreciated how calm you stayed today. We'll definitely be working with you again." And they did. Again, and again, and again. That's the power of the human element. Clients might not remember every single line you record, but they always remember how you made them feel in the process. Did you listen? Were you calm when the situation changed? Did you make them look good in front of their team? Did you contribute to the solution instead of the problem? These things carry as much weight as the sound of your voice. Now let's flip it and look at what not to do. These mistakes seem small but can cost you future work. Disappearing after a project. Delivering the files and vanishing without a thank you or a follow-up. It signals that you see it as a transaction, not a relationship. Being difficult in sessions. Arguing with direction. Insisting on your own choices or letting frustration show. Overselling yourself. Every time you interact, you're pitching something new. Clients don't want a constant sales pitch. They want a collaborator. Inconsistent quality. Different audio setups, misnamed files, rushed editing, it all adds up, and these erode trust. Poor communication. Ignoring instructions or taking too long to respond to simple queries or emails. if you avoid these pitfalls, you instantly stand out, because professionalism in our industry is surprisingly rare. So let's take everything we've talked about and put it into a simple, actionable plan. Deliver quality, on time, every time. Reliability is the fastest way to earn trust. Follow up with gratitude. Always send a thank you note after a project. Take notes. Create a style guide for each client so you can anticipate their preferences. Stay visible, not pushy. Gentle follow-ups and thoughtful engagement go a long way. Be a problem solver. Anticipate their needs. Handle challenges with calm confidence and make their life easier. Invest in the relationship. Think long-term. You're building a relationship, not chasing a single gig or invoice. I also want to leave you with a practical challenge for this week. Pick one client from your recent work. Send them a short thank you note today. Then set a reminder in your calendar for a couple of months from now to check in. And between now and then, engage with them and their work online if you see it, leave a thoughtful comment, or congratulate them on something. This one small action can spark a relationship that grows for years. That single follow-up email can be the start of hundreds of future projects. And that's it. There you have it. Building repeat clients is not about luck. It's about how you show up. It's about trust, consistency, kindness, and professionalism. If you get those right, suddenly the hustle of constantly finding work turns into the joy of being called back again and again by people who know, like, and trust you. This wraps up today's episode. If you have any stories about how you turned a one-time gig into a long-term client, I'd love to hear them. Send me a mail at support@voiceme.co.za, leave a comment here, or give me a call on 0861 VoiceMe, that's 0861 864 2363 if you're in South Africa, and you can also sign up for a VoiceMe profile at voiceme.co.za. As always, like, follow, and engage with VoiceMe on @VoiceMeSA across all social media platforms. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, turn on automatic downloads, or click the bell icon so you never miss the next one. I'm Andrew Sutherland, and that's it from me here at VoiceMe for this week. Cheers for now.